Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, and today we're going to wrestle with the question, is wealth a sin? After returning from a recent trip, I opened up my cupboard to discover moldy bread. Now, it wasn't just one loaf, but several. I thought to myself, gross! I mean, how old is this stuff? But then it dawned on me that our cupboards are full of food that we may never eat. Based on history, a lot of it is going to get thrown out. And then I began to look around my house to see the stockpiling of all kinds. Now, is there a difference between preparation and hoarding? Does God care about what we do with our resources? That is what James will answer for us today in James chapter 5, beginning in verse 1. Come now, you rich people, weep and wail over the miseries that are coming on you. Your wealth has rotted, and your clothes are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver are corroded, and their corrosion will be a witness against you, and will eat your flesh like fire. You have stored up treasure in the last days. Okay, at first glance, it would appear that James is putting down being wealthy. Is that true? No, it's not. We have to remember what Jesus said. Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The issue isn't in the stuff or the lack thereof. The issue is always the heart. What precipitates and motivates wealth? That is the issue. Now, James notes 4 sins that precipitate severe judgment on the wicked rich. He says useless hoarding, unfair gain, selfishly spending, and merciless acquisition. Because their behavior has been so abhorrent to God, they will experience miseries and judgment. They hoard food that could be used to feed the less fortunate. Instead, it goes bad. They just throw it away. Their fine clothes are collected, but over time, they're destroyed. Their wealth rusts or is useless against God's judgment. You see, here's the bottom line. The rich and the poor, they can both be selfish. Both can be selfless. Both, they will stand before God without excuse for their sin. The only one who can help them is Jesus Christ. Now, over the past 2 months, I've had a lot of conversations about the return of Christ. One friend said, I think Christ is coming back soon. I just don't know if there is a point to saving for retirement. Now, I agree that Christ is coming back soon. How soon? We don't know, but we should live like His return is imminent. Now, does that mean that we should give away all of our resources? Maybe. Probably not. I think what it does mean is that we need to live intentionally. As we discussed yesterday, living according to God's will, that is what we should aim for. When we do that, we live within our means. We meet our obligations and don't create an unnecessary burden on our lives or on our pocketbook. It means we're not going to hoard our food. We're not going to just accumulate clothes. We're not just going to stockpile homes, cars. We're not going to be selfish with our time or our talents. Instead, we seek godly wisdom to to live a life intentionally pleasing to our King. Is this easy? No, it's a constant battle. Is it the right thing to do? Absolutely. Is this method or the strategy unique to each individual, to each family? Absolutely. It's all about your heart and your relationship with God. So here's my challenge for you today. Take a look around. That day that I looked around my house to observe my own hoarding, it was a humbling experience. Now, we all do it. We all do it to one level or another. As James reminded us in James 1, he said that real faith results in a life of giving out of the grace of God. So today, look around. And then I want you to be generous. When we live with awareness and generosity, that is when we will win the day.